Today is Monday, May 24th, 2021. The time is 11 a.m. This is our Commissioners' Weekly Status Update. Officially calling this meeting to order. Attending Commissioners Duncan, Brooks, and Filios. Any changes to the agenda? Hearing none. Okay, first item, Kootenai Metropolitan Planning Organization, also known as KMPO update. Leslie.
Yes. So I went to the last meeting and I had asked about non-commerce routes because Highway 97 has always been brought up about how badly in need they are of repairs, but in ITD's designation, they don't have enough commercial trucks to make it a priority essentially. But they are repairing two sections beginning at milepost 65 to 67 and 86.9 to 89. So that's kind of exciting that they have funding to go forward on those two sections of road.
State funding, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yep. So I just felt I wanted to let everybody know that, since over and over again in land use issues, we talk about Highway 97 and how it could use some love in the road department.
Okay, and it certainly can.
Mm-hmm. And then Hutter Bypass, they are starting their outreach public hearing to talk about the latest iteration of the path that it's going to take. And that's about it.
Okay. All right then. Second item, update on the marine storage and detective buildings. Go right ahead, Leslie.
So I'm going to let Corey speak to this.
Morning, Commissioners. Corey Trapp, Longwell Trapp Architects.
Good morning.
So the marine storage and detective buildings are out for bid. They went out last week. Tomorrow there is a pre-bid walkthrough at 3 o'clock. We're going to start at the detective processing building because it's an existing building. And if anybody wants to go out and look at the site for the marine storage building, we'll take them out there after that.
Okay.
Bids come in next Tuesday at 1. We have them turning in at 1:45 for a 2 o'clock opening at your meeting.
Okay. So that's June 1st.
June 1st.
Okay.
For bid opening.
First.
Got it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Corey. Okay. Third item, pending item status review, County Form of Government Study Commission. Bill.
The meetings are ongoing. They've scheduled their, Nancy, when's the next meeting? Wednesday? Wednesday, and they seem to be doing a good job of moving along.
Okay, fair enough.
So I think that's every Wednesday now that they've decided, right?
Is that the case? Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
so every Wednesday. So I would ask, do we want to keep this on here, or do we just want to schedule an update when they're ready to update us?
If you'd like, I mean, we could just do it when we're ready to.
Okay, all right, so I'll take this off the.
Yeah, but I just don't want people to feel like it's not being
Well, the meetings are open anyway.
discussed. I know, but I mean, here at the BOCC level.
We can do it as,
If something comes
if
up.
it comes up, yeah.
I promise I'll tell you.
Good enough, okay. Facilities expansion, Leslie.
Actually, Corey's going to speak to this.
Okay, LCA came up, Ken and Ben were in town on the 13th and 14th, and we spent about 4 hours each day going through a bunch of different scenarios. And Sean Riley was with us also, lending his expertise and knowledge base on where people were, and it was very, very good to have Sean available. He was able to explain to us where people were at in which different buildings, how much space they took up, which gave us a much better understanding. Probably shortened up our process on getting an understanding of what the facilities are like and where people are at. So we're working now on coming up with probably, we've kind of narrowed it down to 2 options which we think work best. We're putting those together in a graphic form that we can bring to you and show you. What we'd like to do is set up probably a workshop with the commissioners where we could present that, not necessarily a meeting like this or a public meeting, but more of a workshop scenario, probably about mid-June. So if we could look at calendars and maybe find a date where we could get LCA back up here and we can go over all those with you.
Okay.
Okay.
So about mid-June is, this room will be closed and we'll be meeting upstairs in the boardroom. I think we already have a lot of meetings so it might be after June 18th. Do you think that would?
Yeah, whatever works
Whatever
for,
works
for
for-
you
Okay.
guys, yeah. Yeah.
All right, well-
We're flexible.
Okay,
We're trying to get it done around the end of June with everything. But, it just depends on when we can meet with you, and then we'll need another week or two after that probably to wrap things up.
perfect.
The other thing that's another component or new element is the money that's potentially coming to the county, this so-called $32 million. There's talk of, or I guess we are investigating, right? A group will analyze to determine whether that, and you probably heard this, can use some of that money, if you will, for the new building. Part of that discussion, and I'm running a little bit ahead here, is can we do it, and we might not be able to if we're breaking ground for a new standalone structure versus building around the existing courthouse? I'm just throwing that out there so that you're not surprised.
So one of my understandings of that money is it has to be spent by
26.
is it 26?
Yeah, we have
Oh,
time.
okay.
Uh-huh.
All
Yeah,
right,
we've
good.
got time.
I've got 3 or 4 others I'm doing too,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
their timeline is June of 23.
right.
So, yeah.
So what somebody had mentioned was looking at the south side of the Justice Center. So it wouldn't be the scope of the new building, but it would just be an addition to alleviate maybe 2 more courtrooms, just to alleviate some space. So
smiling.
we can talk later on that, but I'm just telling you what was.
I'm smiling because actually one of the options that we talked about was instead of putting the building in the parking lot, the new building, moving it to the west of the court building,
Okay,
or the justice building, I guess.
Right.
Yeah,
right,
moving the whole thing and building all of it right there.
yeah.
As we were discussing our options, we were looking at it, and it came to me, I'm going, why are we putting the building where it's being put? And in some respects, I think the other site may be a better option.
Okay.
That's exciting.
So that's one of the options that we're
Okay.
exploring.
So Pat, is it too late to pull back our, the thing you've been working so hard on, the vacation right-of-way to the city? Do you know if we have sent that in yet?
I do know.
Okay.
It's not too late to pull it back. Actually, the next step I would be taking in that regard would be to ask the board for a check for the filing, or, for the application fee, which, and then I would, have to turn it into, go to the city, see if there's a pre-app meeting needed before I turn in the application, and then do that. So, make a long story short, it's not too late in the process to pull that back if need be.
Fantastic.
And I can just put that in a holding pattern
Yeah.
until I hear
Yeah.
definitively from the board, go forward with
There you
it,
go.
or just, file 13 it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
All right, so I'll get with you, we'll get a date on the calendar and go from there.
Perfect.
Thanks, Corey. Appreciate it.
See, there was a reason I came down here.
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, just quickly, I have
please, go ahead.
going back to the KMPO thing
Yes.
with Commissioner Duncan, I have a question on that. Does KMPO or ITD have a definitive right-of-way set out? Because we would need that with community development to develop a overlay zone amendment to our land use and development code.
So I
And
don't know.
I know Glenn Miles had said they'd been working on it. But
Right.
it's been a while since I've heard from him.
And we're talking about Hutter Bypass?
Yes.
Yeah, so at this point, I don't know which is the which is the cart and which is the horse. So I can reach out to Glenn and ask him about that, because my understanding is we just gave staff permission to go start the 30-day comment period and have a public hearing. So I'm not sure if it has to go through that process before they contact
Okay.
for the overlay.
Yeah, now, knowing that, that would make sense if they had to wait until after that process is complete to finalize it. But I just hadn't, Mr. Miles hadn't mentioned that part of it to myself or David Callahan the last time I communicated with him.
Okay.
Thank you.
Are you okay, Pat? Pac Airport Lease,
Stephen's kind of been under the weather this last week, so we didn't do anything.
okay. Is he working it with Wally, is that it? Okay.
I don't think he's been working anything this last week.
This thing has been going on for,
I know,
never mind.
Well, and I think too, it's a lot of it's interconnected. We're now working on the piece that's south. That whole
Right.
area from Miles all the way up to OEM, that's all the section we're talking about. So it does not give me heartburn to take our time, do it right, do it slowly. So it is what it is. I know we've been working, but they're number one. That was where it started. Then we pushed OEM ahead of them, and now we've got Skeet and Gun Club. So to me, that's all related. That's about. So I don't have heartburn about how long they're taking, because the county may end up purchasing that land as well.
Okay. Okay, all right. 1A, 1B upgrade on schedule. You want to give us those dates again? June?
It's on your paper, Chris, it's on the paper.
it's 14
Oh, okay, sorry about that.
to 18.
So can I cross that off too? Thank you,
All right, let's take that off.
good.
Financial snapshot, that's
June
next
7th,
week, I think.
unless, well, we could have it on June 1st, but if there's nothing pressing, then I was gonna cancel June 1st.
That's fine, we can go the
suggest me.
following week, that's perfectly fine. So
Okay.
that would be, what is that, June 7th?
And so now the next two, the ballot bond and building financing is going to wait until our long-range
There you go.
study. So we can just put that end of June.
Okay, end of
Right.
June. All right, moving on. Make sure I didn't miss anything here. Okay.
Page 3.
Yeah, impact fee analysis.
All right, nothing's been done. I've yet to make contact with Chris Way. That's my task for this week.
Okay, so it's basically two parts, right? There's the generic
Yep,
issue of can we do impact fees and how, and then there's a specific one with Chris.
exactly.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
Don't mark them off.
No, I'm not marking, are you kidding? Okay. And really, that takes us to the second one,
Yeah,
okay?
it's all
Which is
connected.
Ann Westcott from Galena Consulting. and
All
that's-
connected.
okay, got it, all right. Anything else? Public comment? Hearing none? 11:13, meeting adjourned.